Reality is whatever you say it is. This is law. Today on Awakening with Amy. Hi, welcome. I'm Amy Valentine. I'm a certified life coach hoping to awaken within you a mindset that you can be, do, and have any desire. And today we're going to talk about how we are the creators of our own reality. Why this is, how this is. We're going to take what we did last week, Neville Goddard's revision technique, and we're going to put a little different spin on it, just so we can hit this from all angles, because it's really taken me, as long as I've been studying Neville and other teachers, the revision thing I always avoided. Honestly, I've read about it, but I just never quite got it until recently. And thank you to Winning Ways for helping me delve into it even more, because you really inspired me by your question. Because I must have had that question within me as well. Otherwise, it wouldn't have shown up, right? So, okay. What did Seth say? That was the entity that Jane Roberts channeled in the, I don't know, I think it was the 50s and the 60s. Late 50s, 60s, something like that. Seth said, you create your own reality. There's no other rule. Whoa, right? Wait. What? I created all? There's no other rule? They're talking about there's no other rule, meaning it's law. It's the law of being. It's the vibrational, the law of resonance. What I am resonating with, what I'm matching, that vibration within me is matching with like things. And that's what I'm experiencing, right? And look, it's not always as easy to take that at face value. It really isn't, because it's not always obvious. So the point here is just to become more aware. What we're doing here, we're not on this channel, we're not talking about fixing ourselves. We're talking about opening our awareness so we can broaden our view and have the view from our higher self for self-empowerment. Why? So we can have more really amazing things. So I had a client say to me recently, I know all this stuff. I know all the stuff you talk about in your videos, and I've read, I've done the work. And she said, but she's like, I get it. I know this stuff. And yet I still don't quite believe I can have what I desire. And I said, well, then you're right. She was like, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, the universe matches us. The universe, God, source energy, that vibration is only pure positive love. So it matches what we are being, who we are being. So if you say, the universe only ever says yes. This is like crazy to think about, but think about it. Test this out. If you think you know this stuff, but it doesn't apply to you because you don't, other people can have what they want, but I can't. You have an assumption, you're holding an assumption that's blocking what you desire. You're saying, I am not. And the universe says, yes, you are not. I get this, but I don't believe I can have what I want. Yes, you're right. You can't have what you want. We are always just literally, it's so crazy. We are creating our own reality by first what we're doing, the stories we're telling ourselves within, and they're all malleable. We think this 3D world is so real, but it's just an effect of an imaginal act. And that's what Neville Goddard always says. You already are that which you want to be. It's only your refusal to believe it that keeps it from you. You're already everything, meaning all potentials exist. When? Right now. Creation is right now. Imagination, he says, is first cause. Who am I being? That is the first cause of everything in your life. And that who am I am, right, is filtered, is conditioned through love or fear, through fulfillment or non-fulfillment, right? Through lack, limitation, or I am unlimited here to be a creator, right? So the question is not how do I create my own reality so much, it's more like, what am I imagining right now? Because it's all right now. Creation is right now. So when I'm thinking about a past event that I regret or I wish didn't happen, now I'm fighting against that situation. So that means I'm fighting against myself as creator. I'm fighting against my own creation. I'm making that creation, that fleeting, temporary creation, more important than the creator. And what does scripture say? I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I am. Why? The Father is greater. The Creator is greater. That's a clue that we have to think as the Creator, as source energy, not as the little version of us or the ego, right? That construct that we create. It's just a thought of fear. That's all the ego is. It's not real. You know, it's kind of like an invisible germ. Like you can't see it. Is it real? I don't know. I mean, the ego is not real. It's not a tangible thing. It's a construct of the mind, meaning it's a thought. It's a thought of lack, that I separated myself from source energy, right? And it's just a bogus belief that we all have to kind of just get over in any way we can. Paul said to the Corinthians, I die daily. And that's what he meant, that I'm dying to that voice of the ego, that voice of fear that's making up my limitations. And then I'm believing in that instead of my unlimited nature, right? I am is your imagination. Just let that really sink in. I am has so much power. We're doing it anyway. If you do a non-critical analysis of your experiences in life, you will see that whoever you say you are, at any moment, good, bad, whatever, was the first cause of that experience, right? So you are the operant power, Neville Goddard says, but it doesn't operate itself, meaning your conscious mind is the director. We have a physical mind so we can use it to focus on what we prefer. But if we don't know how that works, right, we don't remember, then that conscious mind gets focused from our unconscious tendencies, our habits, what we were taught, what we picked up, right? Because we're just like little energy we just take from the world, especially the first 7-8 years of our life. We're taking on all our parents' fears, their worries, their doubts, their joys, everything. And we lose ourselves in that process in a way. We don't really lose ourselves. We just forget, right? We don't remember who we are. So we can remember whatever we want. We can reimagine anything. Why? Because creation is right now. It's only now. Jesus said to his disciples, who do you say I am? Are you saying I am this 3D physical me, or are you saying I am, that imagination within? Neville also says, imagine greater than anyone you know. That's how you resurrect that Christ consciousness within you, to see only the best, no matter what has happened or is happening, right? So when you resist and push against anything and try to get away from it or try to deny that it's there or it's happened, what you're doing is you're denying your own true nature. The key is the true use of denial is to deny that anything in the outer world or even the inner thoughts of doubt have any power over you. That's the true message of denial. It's seeing what is, seeing what was, seeing anything and revising it, rewriting it, reimagining it, how you would like it to be. Not to make something happen, not to fix it, not to change it. You can't. in infinity, there's nowhere for it to go, right? So the key is to reimagine it from that higher I am as source and tell yourself, I forgot that. That's why I got the unwanted, right? I had a desire, but I doubted it. I let the ego, the little me, take over, and I didn't know I was doing that. So now I can remember differently. I can reinvent that memory. And why does that work? Why does that revision technique work? Because when you really let that sink in, that what I'm doing right now, I'm not trying to change that past event, or I'm not trying to change a current thing that maybe just happened or is happening. What I'm doing is reimagining it. I'm revising it from that higher perspective. So now I'm taking that energy with me into the future, and I'm not reinfecting myself over and over again by past regrets. That's the power of revision. So I hope this is sinking in, because a memory is just an imaginal act. I mean, think about it. You can have a memory. I had, in a long time ago, but it was 2008, a very, very dear friend of mine commit suicide. And it was absolutely, at that time, devastating to me. I cried for every day for almost an entire year. That's how devastated I was. But now, 14 years later, when I think of that, I'm no longer sad. I'm no longer depressed, because I have a broader perspective now. I know nothing ever dies. I know he's here right now. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have remembered that, right? His energy is here. Energy just changes form. We never die. We are eternal, right? So that's the power of revisioning, reimagining something. When you use your memory against yourself, you're going against your I am-ness. You're saying, I'm not enough. I'm not who I want to be. And the universe, remember, only ever says yes. It only ever agrees with us, because there's Abraham Hicks says it all the time. There's no assertion. There's no in the universe. It only hears yes. And what you put your imagination on, you're shining a light on, what you're illuminating is what you're creating. When? Right now. And that's why we get a do-over, a reset every single day, every moment. We can choose differently, right? So you create a new reality right now, by imagining a new imaginal scene, a new memory. Even if it's the past, it doesn't matter. When you embrace this, like Scoville Shin says, she says, when in the game of life and how to play it, that book, she says, when you play with life instead of viewing life coming from that place of struggle, now you get it. She says, you do it through non-resistance, resist nothing, fearless faith, walk by faith and not by sight, not by appearances, and with love, meaning that unconditional love. Think as source, not as the ego. When you think as the ego, now you're creating more unwanted, right? You have a desire and you doubt it, and the ego is saying, you can't have it, you can't be it, right? You believe that voice, and the universe matches that. And so you get more unwanted. When you have a desire and you connect with infinite intelligence that only ever says yes, and you trust through that non-resistance and that fearless faith and loving your desire, loving what is, accepting it all, doesn't mean choosing it. Acceptance just means non-resistance, that, hey, I want something different now. Now you're thinking as source. And it is a law. It has to come to fruition. It has to come into a physical manifested reality. It's the law of being. You get who you are, not what you want. Remember that. Let that sink in until it really, you really get it. I am whoever I say I am, no matter what's going on, no matter what happened back then, no matter what my bank account says right now, no matter whatever, fill in the blank. It doesn't matter. It's all the same, right? So, how does God create? What is the essence? How could we put it in a human words to tap into that vibration? Source energy is that feeling of freedom, that feeling of fulfillment, of joy, of unconditional love, of expansion, right? What is the ego, the small me? It's fear, it's constriction, it's catabolic, it's fighting, it's always resisting, it's always trying to get away. It's fearing the monster under the bed because it won't turn the light on. And source is the light. So illuminate. This is how you revise and reimagine. Accept everything. Accept it all. Why? Because that's how your inner being sees you, and that's how source sees you. Accept it all. 2, illuminate your future frame, your future reality. Who do you want to be? Who are you? This is the top-down approach. Go to the identity. Who do you say you are? That I am is powerful. And then surrender to it. Give it all over to your higher power to bring it about. Like Bashar says, this is so beautiful. He says, I wrote the exact quote down. I should just read the exact quote. He says, the physical mind is not designed to know how something is going to happen. The physical mind is only designed to know how something is happening or has happened. Here's Bashar teaching us the physical mind is just for focus, for experiencing our physicality. It's not to figure out the how or the when or the where, right? It's just to say, what do I want to create now? That physical, and then have the experience of it. Without a physical mind, we're not experiencing the change of the physicality. And remember, everything in the 3D reality is old news. It's just an old reflection, a shadow, right? We get caught up in that shadow, believing it's the only reality. That's what blocks our desires from happening. We believe more in the physical reality, whether it's happening now or it was a past event that you keep dragging with you into the now moment. We believe more in that than we do our imagination. Now we have to flip that and believe more in our imagination, because the imagination is what causes it all anyway. Everything physical is a reflection, a mirror, reflecting back to us what we imagined to be for ourselves. And we get to choose it. You can choose again, over and over and over again. Keep choosing higher, the best, because it's all within you. You are the process. It's all within you. You create your own reality. There's no other rule. It's law, like Seth says, right? So see yourself as source of it all. And when you feel that tinge of regret, know that that negative emotion is source energy, is your inner being telling you that's not who you are anymore. Know that, own that, and go back to your I am. I am who I say I am, no matter what. Conditions are conditions, but I am who I choose to be. And that is happening right now, because creation is only ever right now. So let the dead bury their own dead, and those old dead thoughts will just get recycled into pure love, and keep illuminating your future frame right now. What you're doing right now is creating more, because remember that the universe only ever says yes to you. So this is how reality is what you say it is, because you hold all the cards. You have all the power within you. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, please like and share the video with your family and friends. That's how we get the message out there. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you soon.